Good. Well, John, it's good to see you again. Kathleen, how are you? You know that I expose con games that are going around, and there's one I wanted to show you so that you can be aware of what's happening. It's a jewel con. Now you know that usually con men will approach you and they'll ask you for a match, or maybe you'll both find a wallet together. There are all different ways where a con man will gain your confidence, and once he's done that, then he can spring the con on you, or the sting. And this would be one that you might want to watch out for. It's going around the area. The guy would approach you and say, look, you know, we've become friends, but I want to show you something here. These jewels are hot. They're stolen jewels, but I want to offer them to you for as much money as you've got on you. A couple $100, and they're all for you. Okay? I'll tell you what, you can take these jewels into this jewelry store right there and have them appraised, and if they're not worth a few $1,000s, then you don't even have to buy them. I'll give them to you for, say, $500, $300. Now, you would take these in, go have them appraised, and when you came back, you would be convinced because they are actually real diamonds. And you would give me the $300 to $500. Now, when you got back, you probably didn't see me do it, but what I did is I just switched all three of these packages so that you're left with $300 worth of corn.
How did that happen?
Now, of course, when it's really done, they would switch them for paste diamonds, and you wouldn't even know that the switch had been made. They would look similar to diamonds. But, you know, John, I do a whole talk for parties, for different groups, and educate people about cons. If you're gonna, you were mentioning a party you're gonna have.
Group getting together tomorrow night.
Terrific,
Any
terrific.
chance you could give us the whole show?
That'd be great. Why don't I come down tomorrow night and we'll all have just a ball. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good. We'll see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Docc Hilford.
Thank you. Maybe some of you have seen me before. I just recently appeared on America's Most Wanted. I just closed up a 3.5-year engagement. Actually, it was 5 to 10 for the state of Arizona. It was an exclusive engagement. It's a completely captive audience. What I do is I go around, I teach people how not to get conned. That's a nice shirt, sir. I'll teach you how not to get gypped ever again. Okay? No, I'm kidding. They're still having that sale, though? Or are they gonna, look, I'll be there. I'm sorry. No, really, we're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show you how not to get conned by people, and maybe you'll learn something. Maybe I'll make a few bucks in the process, okay? What is your name, sir?
Chuck.
Chuck. I'll tell you what, Chuck. A lot of games start in a bar. You know, and it's a little guessing game. You've heard the game where, for instance, if I took the $50 and put it behind my back, then you would guess which hand the $50 is in. Now, which hand would that be in, Chuck? In this hand. No, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Okay, let's try again here, Chuck. Okay, now you're never going to win. You know that, right? Okay, let me put it in one of the hands. Now, which hand is it in, Chuck?
Still in that one.
No, I'm sorry, you're wrong again, Chuck. Okay, let's try it one more time. This time, well, no, I'm going to give you a couple more chances. You want to bet any money this time? Probably not. Okay, which hand is that in, Chuck?
All right, I'll go with that one.
No, you're wrong again. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll tell you what, Chuck. I'm going to give you a big chance, okay? You can say right hand, left hand, or both hands. It's up to you, okay? You say right hand, left hand, or both hands. Ready? Which hand is it in?
Both hands.
That's wrong, and the drinks are on you, okay? Thanks. Coca-Cola. Yeah. Good, thanks. See, you didn't lose anything with that, did you, at all? You could have lost a lot of money. Yeah, not yet. Okay, good. You know, you ever hear of short change artists, or guys that they don't give you enough change, or they talk to you while you're trying to get change? Well, in a restaurant area or a bar area, it works very easily. I have a few dollar bills here, and I have a pocket that I'm going to use like a waitress's pocket. Okay, but it's just a cloth bag, and we'll use it like a waitress's pocket. Now, the bills I have here, see, do I have a bunch? How many do I have here? Let me count them. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bills. Now, I learned how to do pickpocketing and shortchanging from a friend of mine named Slick Willie. No one you'd know. No one you'd know. Okay. He'll only be around for a while, and then he's gone. That's why we call him Slick. But what he'd do is like we'd go to buy something, and like in a restaurant, and I'd say, gee, Slick, how are you going to pay? You've only got $6. There's 2 of us eating. He said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you a concept, so to speak, that you can use wherever you go. What you do is if you get a sandwich that costs $3, okay, you take the $3, you give it to the waitress. Now, you put that right in her pocket. You don't hand it to her, okay? Then she thinks you only have $3. You think you only have $3. When we got outside, Willie had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6 still. And I said, now, Willie, that's pretty amazing, Willie. How are you doing that stuff? 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. He said, it's very simple, Doc. What I'm doing is when I put it in there, I'm not really putting it in her pocket. What I'm doing is folding the bills up, palming them out, and putting them back on like this. See, look, I'll take 3 bills. I'll act like I give it to the waitress. Now, here's the trick. When I put it in there, I really fold them up, palm them out, and add them right back to there, like this. Just like that. Okay? Now, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait a minute, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, wait a minute, I've got more money than when I came in here. Something's not right. Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll take 1, 2, 3 of the dollars, give it back to the waitress, and when we get outside, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, that's how it should be, except when Willie did it. Willie always took more money than he gave out, like this. Let me show you. 1, 2, $3 he'd put into her pocket. I said, wait a minute, Willie, what if she stops you right there when you're trying to fold it up? He says, well, you just show her, and then you only have 1, 2, $3. I said, but Willie, that's not much of a deal. If we're going out, we need more than $3. He said, well, then what you need to do is what I did before. You do a little pickpocketing and come out with more money than you had when you started, and there's all $6 bills. Thank you, thank you. Now, I'll keep these. Of course, when the waitress gets home, she doesn't have even any lint in her pocket, you know. That's... Oh, thanks. Never trust an honest man. You know, I use these napkins to keep my hands nice and dry because I do sleight of hand, card tricks for money. And one of the things a gambler does, or a con man does, is he'll take 1 deck of cards and he'll stack it up the way he wants it. Then after you're playing a little while, he'll just switch decks on you. Now that's called cold decking because 1 deck gets warm when you're playing with it, and then you cold deck in another deck. Now, I'll show you what I mean here. There's some other things, too, you can do, by the way, to cheat. It's relatively easy. For instance, with blue back of cards, you can write on the cards and look with special glasses with special ink and actually see what's written on the card. For instance, you know, the Ace of Hearts, you'd write that on the back, and the King of Spades or the 3 of Spades, you'd write that on the back, and you'd be able to see that while they were being dealt if you wore these special glasses, okay? It's relatively simple, but it's not caught very often. However, you have to use your own deck of cards. Now, with cold decking, it's an entirely different situation. Let me show you exactly. My hands are a little moist right now, and I want to... Now, you probably didn't notice that, but what I just did was change that deck around, you see. Now, we've got a deck all stacked and ready to deal poker. You see, the deck we were using is right here in my pocket like that. Now, that's the deck we were using. That's called cold decking. Okay? I'm going to play a little game with you. Let me put this back in the box that we started with. Have you ever played poker before, Chuck? You have? Have you ever played craps before? Excuse me, ladies, I'm sorry. Have you ever played bones, dice? Good. You know that if you are caught with a deck of cards in your pocket by the authorities, you can say you're just doing card tricks, like I say, right? And if you're caught with dice, it's hard to say you just came from a red-hot Yahtzee game, isn't it? So what I did is I invested a lot of money in these, and I'm going to show them to you. They're very expensive. I got them from a mail order house. They are beautiful, invisible dice. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Aren't those lovely? Now let me show you how to play this game, okay? You just roll them out like that. See, they're silent too, Chuck, okay? And look, a 7, a winner, okay? I'm going to set those there. I'm going to tell you about another con, too. Then we might play a little bones, okay? What I did is I took a hunch and I put it in here, okay? And I'll explain. You see, I play my hunches like at the horse track or the dog track. You wouldn't think you could get conned there, but you can. There's a thing, Chuck, where a guy will come up to you and say, look, for $100, I'll tell you what the winning horse is going to be in the next race. If he wins, you pay me the 100. If he doesn't win, you don't owe me anything. And he's your real chum, and he'll just be talking to you like this. Now, what he's done is he has a bag of chalk in his pocket. He'll get a little chalk on you and mark you like this. Then he tells that to 12 different people for each race, and he covers every horse in every race. Then the winner always comes up to him and pays his $100. So he makes about 6, 7, 8, depending on how many races a day, $800 a day. He can't lose that way. And that's where we get the term mark, okay? So if I ever touch you like this, you'll know why, okay? Now, it's a white shirt. You'll never see it, okay? Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to play with these bones right here. You know how to do it. You roll them out like this. See, 7, a winner. What's that again? I'll do it again. 11, another winner. Here, Chuck, you take them. Jiggle them around a little bit. You might even blow on them for luck. Attaboy, Chuck. Roll them out there and... Oh, craps. Too bad, Chuck. That's okay. Can't last all night. Here, try it again. Roll it out there. See if you can get... Oh, a 4. Hard point to make, Chuck. Hard point to make. Here, try that again. Roll that out there. And you get what you'd... Boy, you really believe this, don't you, Chuck? Okay. Oh, it's 7. See, that's when you don't want to get a 7. You lose again. But I'll tell you what I want you to do is hold those on for a minute. Hold on to those for a minute. I've taken 1 spade and 1 heart and turned them around the wrong way in the deck. It's a hunch that I had before I left home. So I have 1 spade and 1 heart turned the wrong way, and all the other cards are turned the right way. Now, those dice will roll any number between 2 and 12. If they roll more than 12 or less than 2, they're weirder dice than I thought they were, okay? Now, don't be influenced to say you see a 7 when you don't. I don't want you to lie. I want you to roll those dice out and tell me exactly what you see on the face of those dice, okay? There they are.
8.
You got a total of 8. Which is which? Is it the hard way? Is it the soft way? Hard 8. 2 4s, correct?
Yep.
2 4s. Now, like I said, before I started, I turned 1 card around, or 2 cards, 1 spade, 1 heart around the wrong way. Now, there's a card the wrong way, and there's a card the wrong way. Now, this is what's really wild about this. I said I turned 1 spade and 1 heart the wrong way around. You rolled what? 2 4s, and amazing enough, that's exactly what I turned around. It all comes just from playing your hunches, Chuck. That's what you got to do. I'd like, you know, Chuck's a really good sport, isn't he? Can a little bit for Chuck. I think you're a hell of a sport, Chuck. I think what I'd like you to do, would you stand up for me for just a moment? Good, Chuck. And just stand right here. If Miss Caroline, if you'd pull his chair out just a little bit. Good. We're going to have a little fun, okay, Chuck? And is there anybody in the audience with a $100 bill? Is there anybody in the audience with a $50 bill? Is there anybody in the audience? Chuck, you've got money, right? Yeah, I can tell he doesn't spend it on his clothes. That's why. No, I'm kidding, okay? This is a joke. I don't want to get you on my side, see? Okay. If you have, let's say, $20 bill, take out your wallet. You carry a wallet? Okay, take out a $20 bill. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me see that. Oh, that is beautiful. Is this your wallet?
Yeah, my wallet.
How do you know? You probably haven't seen it since last Christmas. Yeah, You don't take that out very much. That looks brand new. That's beautiful. What kind of leather is that? What does that say?
Calf.
Oh, no, it says Naga hide, made from Nagas, right? That's, you know how many olays it takes to squeeze to get a bottle of their oil? That's something else. Anyway, I'm a conservationist. No, that's beautiful. What is in here? Oh, that's lovely. There's a card from Madam Tinkertoy's House of Blue Lights. Is that's for you? Okay. No. This says re-elect Richard Nixon. You haven't opened this very often, have you? Okay.
Is there a Wendell Wilkie button in there too?
No, it says you're affiliated with McGruff the crime dog. However, ever notice that McGruff families have the greenest lawns in town? That's never mind. You'll get it when you go home. What is you haven't opened this very often? So it looks like moths or something in there. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. Well, there is a little bit of money in here that looks like $37 and what's this? A coupon for Jack in the Box. That's good. Waitress, watch his table. You know, I like happy hours too, but they don't come with Tupperware, Chuck. Okay, that's good. We'll go out to dinner again. No, there is a $20 bill, and I'm just kidding here. Good. I want you to hold this $20 bill up. Turn this way. Good. Face everybody, nice and big. I want you to look. Wait a minute. That should be Andrew Jackson, not Michael Jackson. Is that okay? Okay, good. Let me put your wallet back in here too. Okay, I want to stuff your wallet down in there so you can feel. Hey, I played sports. All right. Don't mean anything else. We do that on the field a lot, bud. Okay. Don't mean anything else. Okay, I want you to look at that and memorize the serial number there. Okay, because I'm going to take an envelope here, and I want you to just slide that into the envelope for me. Okay. Okay, go ahead and slide that into the envelope. I think, do I have some money too? Where's my money? I don't have it. Tell you what, is there somebody with another $20 bill? We really want, do you have $20, lady? Okay, because I really want to make this worthwhile. $20 just isn't going to be worth this trick. Ooh, she had 100 too, doesn't she? What's your name, ma'am? You forgot. Okay, that's good. Give her another drink, please. Go ahead, Chuck. Put that $20 bill in there. Now, how much is that envelope worth?
$40.
$40. Put that $20 bill in there.
Sure, I'll remember it.
Okay, so that she'll be sure and get it back.
That's a good poker hand.
Or she can go get another one just like it later. Go ahead, lick that and seal it. Okay? Hey, what kind of watch are you wearing there? That's a nice watch. Yeah, I might like that watch. Okay, good. Tell you what, I'm going to take this. I want you to, you still have your wallet? Good. Okay, take your wallet. I need a pen here. No, make sure you have your wallet. Do you have a pen?
No, I don't have it.
No, I think I have a pen here. Okay, good. Take this pen. Write your initials across the face of that envelope there. Now, how much is that worth?
$40.
$40. Now, remember that it's worth $40. Okay, I want to make sure it's still in there, don't you? Okay, good. That's good. Perfect. And I'll take the pen back. Very good. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you a tremendous deal. I'm going to sell you this $40 envelope for $30. Okay? Good deal?
Good deal.
Okay, you pay me the $30. No, wait a minute. That's a con. See? Would you take it for $30? No, because see, half of the money is already yours, right? Okay, well, I will buy it for $10. See? See, well, I mean, you know, you're drinking. It's easy to do. I'll tell you what. I'll buy it for $10, $5 a piece, okay? Is that? Well, no, that wouldn't be a deal either, would it? Okay, I'll tell you what. It's worth $40. That's what I should sell it for. I'll sell it to you for $40. No, that's not right either. Keep in mind, $20 is for you, and $20 is for this lady here, okay? Now, there are cons like this all the time that go on. I want you to take this. I appreciate you very much, Chuck, helping me out, okay? I want you to just open that up, give her her $20 bill. You can just tear the end off there. Yeah, give her her $20 bill, and you take your $20 bill, and then... Holy cow, what is this? Oh, great Scott. Well, we know what you think about this, Con. Okay, I'll tell you what. That's no good at all. But you had a good time, and I'll bet if you check your wallet, you'll look in there and you'll find the $20 bill of yours and $20 bill of this lady's here. If everyone would clap for Chuck for me. Thank you very... No, wait, Chuck, that's not a wallet. Let's see, this is your wallet here. There's a 20 for you. There's a 20 for her. You can give that back. I'll put this right here, okay? I don't want you to lose it, all right? Put it right in there. I'll take this, put it away. You can, if you want to feel it, you sure can. You can sit down now, and then, oh, I'm sorry. It must have stuck to my finger. This is for you. Put it back in your pocket. You can sit down, and everybody clap and yell yay for my friend Chuck. Very good. You can settle up after the show there, my dear. Hey, I want to thank you very much, and I especially want to do something very special. Before I stop, I learned a little something. Oh, my goodness, there's only two $1 bills in there.
Two $1 bills in there.
Well, that trick was worth $19 apiece, wasn't it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'll do for you then, dear. Sir, you can keep that beautiful Naugahyde wallet. And for you, my dear, I'd like to make this for you. It's something lovely. I learned to do it in prison. No, I'm kidding, okay? I've never been to jail, and I sure as hell ain't going back, all right? Well, there was that one time, but, you know, that doesn't count. I have a little poem that goes along with this. Some kiss beneath the mistletoe, some kiss beneath a rose. But the best place to kiss, you know, is right beneath the nose. Well, I wrote that because I couldn't rhyme with belly button, okay? I'm sorry. You work with what you got, all right? Jeez. Here you go, here you go. Boy, they turn hostile in a minute, don't they? You take a couple bucks from them, they're ready to turn on you. This is for you, my dear friend, for helping me. If you will see me after the program, we will straighten everything out. I thank you very much. Everyone clap for both of my helpers, both Chuck and this lady here. Oh, my goodness. Did you have a good time? Yeah. Did you learn a little something? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, first of all, you never want to play cards with someone named Doc. Never eat at a place called Mom's, which is kind of like where we are. And one last thing I want to remind you. If you ever see me again, anywhere, at any time, if you see me on the street, if you see me in a courtroom, if you ever see me again, remember, you never saw me before. Okay? Thank you, and good night. Potential con men, I'm here to offer you a terrific deal. I'm going to show you how you can make money being a con man legally. See, what I do is I do a magic show that's all based on a con man theme. I also do lectures. Richard Webster has a new book out on giving free talks and making money doing so. One of those free talks is about con men. It's a very popular topic right now for all different types of groups. And like I say, I also do a complete magic act. The idea of this video isn't so much to introduce all the new magic tricks that you should learn to do a con man act. It's that you can take the tricks you already do and theme them to a con man character. Now, Tommy Windsor did it with the medicine show Pitch Act. And a lot of people, I think, misunderstood that and went out and got the exact tricks that Tommy Windsor talked about to do it. And that's not what you need to do. You need to apply it to the tricks you're already doing. So most of the tricks, if you haven't already guessed by now, are very basic magic tricks, but they're loved by the audience because of the presentation factor. Now, when I start the show, I like to start out with something quick and bouncy, and I started with which hand is it in coin. I got this idea from a wonderful con man movie, and that's a good tip. Watch as many con men movies as you can, videotapes, so that you can develop a character. There's a great one called Mr. Lucky with Cary Grant. And when I saw him do this, and he did it this way, I'm going to remove the shell, and I'll talk about it in a minute. He merely had a hooked coin. He went behind his back, and I'll pretend this is behind my back, and he says, now, which hand is it in? And they would say, this hand, and he would say, no, you're wrong. Or they'd say, this hand, he'd say, no, you're wrong. He'd reach back behind his back, pick up the coin, and that was the only effect. I saw that, and I thought, that's pretty clever, but I'll bet you could do it a few times if you included an expanded half shell. I also put a little dab of wax on the top of it so that it won't fall off when it gets on my back, okay? There's also a little dab of wax on the expanded shell in case later I need some more wax. I know right where it is. The other thing you need is a shot glass and a holder of some sort. I use a balloon and a clothespin. Now in the old magic books they'll say get a rubber ball that fits inside that'll seal it, put a bolt through the rubber ball, a pin through the bolt, and pin that all up inside your coat or behind your jacket like we're doing. I found it very difficult to find the right diameter ball that would seal in there, that was squishy enough but not too squishy to fit in there. So this is just as easy, and it's cheaper, and you can find them. This is a 12-inch balloon. You stretch the balloon out like this and snap it over the mouth of the shot glass. Okay? Now that one I split, so I have another balloon right here. Okay? So what you got to be careful of, reach into the neck of the balloon enough that you don't split it when you're trying to cover it. Now, believe me, this is the most difficult part of the trick, is stretching the balloon. Now the rest of the trick is easy. All right, that holds your liquid in. It also gives you a tail to pin to your belt, like that, all right? This is filled with Coca-Cola, or your favorite beverage, as I mentioned. The coin is a hook coin, an expanded shell with the wax, like I mentioned. You have this in your pocket. You bring it out. This is clipped to your back, okay, to your belt behind you. Now, you have all the time in the world to do this trick. Remember, these are cons, not magic tricks. So you're telling them how you do switches and swindles, not how you make coins appear and disappear. I'll make believe that this area of my jacket is the back of my jacket near the bottom. You say, now, we're going to play a little game just like I did in the performance. Put your hands behind your back, and you say, which hand is it in? Now you put both of them on the back of your jacket, come out. Both hands are obviously empty. I mean, not obvious to them, but to you. If they pick this hand, you show it. Whichever hand they pick, you show it. You say, I'm sorry, you lost. Now you go behind your back, you pop off the shell and pick up the hook coin, one coin in each hand. You come out, whatever hand they pick, you show the opposite hand. Thus, if he picks this hand, you show that hand. Now be careful you don't show the inside of the shell, of course. You show this hand that I'm sorry, you're wrong. Okay? If you want to get fancy, you can palm it at that point, and there's no need. Okay? This is moving relatively quickly. Then you go back behind your back again, and you've got all the time in the world to snap them both back together and hang them on your jacket. Come back out, do it a third time. Which one? This one? No, I'm sorry. Let's play one more time, and you go behind your back, and this time you pick it up and you drop it in your pocket, okay, your back pocket, because you don't want this hanging on the back of your jacket for the rest of the show. You tell them, look, you can say my right hand, my left hand, or both hands. That's when you pop this off with both hands behind your back, press it against the mound of Venus so that it's sealed again, and come out like this. Then just before they say, you put both hands together, they'll say, and you can hold it down sideways like this, horizontally. They'll say both hands, and you say, no, I'm sorry, you're wrong, the drinks are on you. Now, there's a little psychology in this. When you go behind your back and you do it the first time, you show a coin, so they're sure there is a coin. The second time you've hooked both of them, they don't see a coin, so that they start thinking that they've seen the coin in one hand and not in the other, and vice versa. They see the coin a couple times, they don't see it a couple times, and then at the end, the shot glass is a surprise. It's a nice way to get things rolling with your con man show, okay? Now, the next thing I did was the old 6-bill repeat. I personally think it's a wonderful trick that has been misused. Most magicians think that the 6-bill repeat is designed so they can produce dollar bills. It's not a dollar bill production. You want to do a dollar bill production, read about dollar bill productions in Tarbell. This is not a dollar bill production. It's about getting rid of $3 bills that keep returning. And if you're doing it with cards, it's the same story. You get rid of 3, they return. I don't think the area should be littered with dollar bills or with cards. Secondly, Another reason people don't like this, magicians, lay people love it. Why magicians don't like this trick is they try performing it with the play money that it comes made in. It doesn't look good, it doesn't look real, and it's hard to handle when it's play money. If you make it out of real dollar bills, it handles wonderfully. Now let me show you the construction, then I'll show you what I did. Okay, each 4 envelopes, if you're not familiar with the trick, it's still a dealer item, I'm sure. 4 envelopes and 2 single bills. Each envelope holds 3 single bills. I took some tape and I laid it down here and here so it became a hinge. The tape is on the inside. Tape running right down here, and there's a piece of tape right in here. The tape is on the inside. Now that makes an envelope. It's joined at the bottom and one side. Also, I have cut a little triangular piece, you see that right there, out of the top. Okay? Now my thumb can get to the bills inside through here. Take the 3 individual bills, they go inside the pocket like this, the little envelope. That appears to be 1 bill. Okay? However, at the back, my thumb easily comes in here and peels off 1 bill. Now you don't do it that way, of course you do it up like this. There's a bill, this looks like 1 bill, there's a bill, there's a bill. Okay? That's the preparation point. You have 4 of those envelopes. They have 3 singles in them. You have 2 odd singles. That makes a total of 6 bills. All right? Just like this. 1, 2, 3. Did I put my extra single in here? I think I did. Yeah, I have 4 in there. There's my extra single. I put the 3 envelopes right here in between the 2 single bills. That way, when I'm beginning to talk, I can take 1 bill out and flick it as I talk. Then count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bills. And as you saw, it looks just like what it, $6 bills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it's easy to move this bill just to the front, just like that, while you're talking. Or, as you're counting, you can say 1, and then count them to the back of that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and put that one on front. The counts aren't that complicated. I also use a Velcro change bag. Now, this one was made by the lovely and talented Jan Flora. If you didn't buy these while they were available from Flora & Company, you missed out. I'm sorry. But you still can get a type. You can't get this exact one this has gone through 15,000 different performances. Still looks as good as the day I got it from Flora & Company. Simple change bag. Has a pocket on one side. This is the real inside of the bag. It's held together on the side by Velcro, so whatever I drop into this pocket stays there as I rip it open like that. All right? Simple change bag. I like using just a plain black bag because it doesn't attract too much attention. If you're going to use this trick for any length of time, you might want to have someone you know that sews make up one of these that looks like a waitress's apron or a pocket, a little bit of lace, whatever your story happens to be to go along with it. Now, as you count off the money, and we're all set here, I've shown that there were, let me reset, boy, that took a long time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dollar bills. I pull out 3 using my thumb here from the envelope. 1, 2, 3. They go into the secret pocket of the bag. Now here's the deal. You can't fold them up, you can't leave them bunched up, or you'll see them puff up in there. You lay them in there flat, and you say you put it right into her pocket, come back, of course your hand is still holding these, and you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, again, this is an empty envelope here, so you can count this to the front. 2, this is a full envelope. 3, a full envelope. 4, a full envelope. 5 and 6 can go to the front. That's as complicated as the count needs to get. So you repeat that a couple of times, explaining that really what you're doing is putting the money in there, folding it over, palming it out, but you're not. And then you just add it back, and that gives you $6 bills. See there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6 bills. Now that's one of the neat things about this con, is that it is in fact a con. You see, I am not, obviously, you know this, but the lay people don't, I am not folding the bill over and bringing it back out, but that's why it's a con. Because seemingly I'm explaining what I'm doing, but I'm really not. I'm using a trick. Okay, and that's the whole premise of a con man act, is it seems that you're explaining how con men operate when in actuality you're using a conjuring trick to pull it off. Okay, so we'll go through here again, 3, and they go in there, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what I have done is, as I counted them, I left the empty envelopes, 3 of them, at the back. The full envelope near the front, and the 2 singles near the front. Okay? So the next bit, I can take 1, 2, 3. These are 3 envelopes. And I get rid of the 3 envelopes. I'm left with 2 singles and an envelope with 3 singles inside of it. Say, well, what happens then? Well, then you've only got 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. If you've only got 3, what are you going to do? You do some pickpocketing. Then you just count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the end. But then there's the kicker that when the waitress gets home, the only thing in her pocket is dryer lint. Okay? That shows that you still have the original $6 bills. That's all you've had. That's all you've ever had. Okay? Now, in the presentation I did, I threw in a little kicker where I made 9 appear, and then you can do whatever you want. The idea isn't the trick. The idea is the presentation. Okay? Make this up. This is a great trick that's fallen into disuse because I think it was used incorrectly. I've talked to other performers and said, what did you think about that trick when you saw it as a kid? Well, I thought it was a pad that was held together at the top, and they were just peeling off dollars off the pad like that and then counting the rest of them. Okay, so it's not very baffling as a bill production, but it's very entertaining in the con man. The next effect is the cold decking demonstration. Now, the reason I came up with this is because I wanted to do, in fact, that, cold deck someone. There were 2 things I came across that were worth anything in cold decking, and then Mike Rogers mentioned something in his lecture. The 2 things I came across in magic books, one was Al Baker, where in mentalism he would have a stacked deck in his pocket, and wanting to switch the deck, he would do a trick where you had to put the deck in your pocket. So he would say, just take the deck, put it in your pocket like this, and he'd switch the decks and then give it to you. Okay, that was good, but I'm not doing anything in my pocket. That's a good thing to use. The other thing is magic books will say you do tricks with one deck, set it aside, do another trick, and then when you come back, you pick up your cold deck and go right into it. I didn't like that, though I use a variation of that, and I'll teach it to you. The other thing Mike Rogers does in his lecture is he introduced a red deck and a blue deck, and he'd done a lot of tricks with the blue deck. He introduced a red deck so he could do a you do as I do or something like that. Then he got rid of the blue deck and started using the red deck. That's all right, too, except it's fairly obvious that you've switched decks. In my routine, what I do is I tell them, I'm going to switch decks and show you how it's done. And then I don't do that. I apparently switch decks. I do a color changing deck routine and then say, let's go back to the original deck, and that's when I cold deck them. So as I hope you're getting the hang of this, that the entire premise of a con man act is you are really conning them. They just don't know you are. Okay, the way I start is I have the deck that I want to switch for in my pocket. This is the deck set for the invisible dice trick, and I'll teach that to you in a moment, but this is loose in my pocket. It's the blue deck. If I have been doing tricks with a blue deck, and then I set it aside, do another trick, then I come out, do the cold decking thing, and then switch, because it convinces them that it's still the same deck, and I've still mixed it up, and then immediately go back into this. All right, so this is in my pocket, all right, or in my case, or anywhere I want it to be, as long as they think that I can switch it there. Come out with a blue box, and in the blue card box is a red deck covered with a single blue card. All of these are red cards. Now, I could do a poker demonstration. I didn't want to do that on the performance because it's not anything original with me. All the other tricks have original twists, and that's what I'm here to teach you. But say you did a poker demonstration with a blue deck. Then you set it down and you said, well, would you like to learn how they cold deck? You know, how they... You have to figure that routining out for yourself. But now you're ready to cold deck them. So the way I bring attention to the fact that we are using a blue deck is, this is entirely wrong. You would normally do this on a red deck, but I don't think I want to expose that. So I tell them on a blue deck, you can write the letter and number of the card on the back, wear special glasses or a visor, look through it and see it. And I do a Hindu shuffle. Now remember, this is a red deck with a single blue card on the back. So I do a Hindu shuffle and say, for instance, the 9 of clubs would be written right there on the back as the 9 of clubs. Now you want to be sure not to flash, pardon me, the red cards. But you go through and keep saying, for instance, the 8 of spades would be written there, and the 3 of diamonds or the 7 of hearts would be written there, the 10 of clubs would be written there, and you just keep going through there until you get to your single blue card and put that on the bottom. All right? Now is when you switch the deck, and you can either use a handkerchief, you can say, gee whiz, you know, because you do use a handkerchief to actually cold deck, and you say, gee, I don't know, and you make it slightly contrived, any way you'd like to. So it looks like you did something, but they weren't sure what you did. And at that point you say, now did you see that? I really did. Switch the deck. You see, this deck is all stacked up and ready for a poker deal. So I can spread through the whole thing except for that last card. I just want to keep that last card gripped together. No big sleights here. Just a Hindu shuffle and a spread. At that point you get the oh, oohs, ahs. You drop this, you show them that you switched it for, and you go to your pocket or to your case for the original deck that you were using. And you put this in your pocket. Now everything looks just exactly the way it was supposed to when you started. You have the blue box and you have the blue deck. And they're sure that you have the original deck because you've told them that this deck is all stacked. So that's why you want to get rid of it. And you would never do something like that because you just exposed it to them. There's a way you cold deck by saying you're going to cold deck. Another con within a con. I had some reservations about publishing this or putting it on tape because it's a very popular trick. I do it in every magic show that I do. It's very fun and it's easy to do. It's basically an invisible deck or an ultramental deck with a slight twist. In an ultramental deck, half the deck is face up and half the deck's face down so that either direction it looks face up. With this particular effect, you only need 12 cards rough and smoothed together. So all of these are just in different cards on the top, and all of these are in different cards on the bottom. The pairs you have that are rough and smooth, ace of spades, 2 of spades, 3 of spades, 4, 5, 6 of spades, ace through 6 of hearts. All right, the ace is roughed on the back, and an odd card is roughed on its back, and they're put back to back. The ace is face up in the normal deck. Same with the 2 and an odd card. Same with the 3 and an odd card. So that you've got little pairs that stick together when you spread it, and when you push and break the roughing fluid, they'll spread apart. Thusly, when set up, and I'll show you what the setup looks from my view, okay, it looks like that. Now, all of those face-up cards have an indifferent card below them. Right? I could break it here, and there's the indifferent card. The indifferent card is what you see because I'm spreading it up like this. All right, now when you buy an invisible deck, they almost invariably want you to do the trick like that. No one can see it that way. You've got to do it like this if you're doing anything stand-up. You spread it like this, and then, like last night, if they called out, see, now here you don't even see it, but here's my ace of spades, here's my two of spades, behind all of these indifferent cards, just like that. See? So if they say the 4, then you break it there. There's a face card going the wrong way. Keep going, they say another 4, you break it right there. There's the second card. Now, excuse me, the two beauty pieces of this trick is that as you spread it out, first of all, you're doing it with two different cards. As you spread it out, it's quite obvious that there's only 2 cards face down. The other thing is while you're talking, you can spread through like this and show. Now, you don't want to flash that ace, but you spread through a little bit and show. And also, it looks like a normal deck of cards, no matter how you're holding it. There's a lot of built-in comedy in this trick. Of course, invisible dice are funny. As soon as I say I have them, people are looking for them. I keep them clenched in my hand, people look, and then when you say invisible dice, don't just do this, you know, you've got to mime that you have the dice, and ooh, ah, everyone, they know they've been taken right there. They're having fun with a con man, something most people never get a chance to do. If you ever run into a con man, you're not going to have very much fun. Then they throw out the dice, or you throw out the dice, you get a 7, you get an 11, they throw out the dice, craps. That's a good laugh. All of those are built-in laughs. Something I didn't do last night, I just simply forgot it, is after I do the effect, I pick up the dice, I give it to them as a souvenir that they can keep the dice. All right, and that's a neat way of ending it. I just simply forgot to do that in the performance last night. They roll them out, and they call out any total they see. Then after the total, they tell you which 2 cards. Now, you've told them 1 spade and 1 heart, 1 spade and 1 heart. So there it is. We'll say they rolled out a 7, a 3, and a 4. And that's the order. You say 1 spade and 1 heart. Here's the 3. There's the 4. And the beauty of this is I'm looking right at it. So I just spread them when I see them. And then I look right at it, and I'm looking at the 3, so I take the 3 out, and I'm looking at the 4, so I take the 4 out, and say the 3 and the 4, the 3 and the 4. It's an easy setup, reset, and you're ready to go. That easy. That's the invisible dice. It's a very, very strong little trick. It's something you can put in your pocket, you can do anytime, anywhere, and prove that you are a con man. I use this a lot to impress people anywhere I Now, the last little con that we have for you is the dollar, the wallet switch. If the person has a billfold, you can do different jokes with it. If they have a trifold, you can do different jokes. The idea, of course, is that it's entertaining. It's not too mystifying. All right? It does surprise them, and it does make it seem like you're a master pickpocket and switch artist. I have a folded piece of newspaper in my right-hand pocket, and they have their wallet almost invariably in their back. I'm sorry, I said right-hand pocket. This is my left-hand pocket. They keep their wallet in their back right-hand pocket. And it's simple. After you take out the wallet and you make the jokes about all the different things and the naga hide and what you find in there and what you don't find in there, you take out the $20 bill, you get him to hold it, then using his body as a block, you go down and just drop this into your coat pocket, his wallet, and reach in and take out the newspaper and then shove that down in his pocket. Through the coat, through his pants pocket, or if he's wearing a jacket, he can pat it. it feels just like his wallet, so he's sure his wallet's in there. You're way ahead of the game there. Then you do a little bit with an envelope switch, and I'll teach you that envelope switch. It's very simple. You have two envelopes. Now, because this is television, using gray envelopes, you have two envelopes and a pen in your pocket. One envelope has toilet paper folded in the size and shape of a couple $20 bills. And that's sealed up. That's behind the other empty envelope, or rather on the outside. So the empty envelope is closest to your body. As you take them both out, you kind of use his body as a shield. Take them both out and put the sealed envelope in your left hand behind his body. Then you give him this envelope to put the money in and seal. Now this switch can be used for all sorts of things. It can be used in mentalism, in magic, all sorts of things. It's a very easy switch because you're using him as a shield. Then after he's sealed it, you say, I need a pen. You go behind his back for just a moment, and here's what it appears that you're doing. It appears you have your hand on his back, and that you merely say, I need a pen, so you put this in this hand and hold it up and reach in for a pen. What you're actually doing is you're going behind his back, coming up like this, and reaching in for a pen, leaving the bills in your pocket, and coming out with your pen, and then have him seal it. Okay? Very simple little switch. Of course, after you do the buy play, buy this, don't buy this, whatever, you rip it open. There's a little gag there with Great Scott, Scott tissue. Now you can use this, like I say, for all different kinds of switches. You could have a card in there, you could have money in there, you could do spirit writing. The actual con, just so that you can write a story around it, is that the con man makes friends. This is a striptease con. The con man goes into a striptease parlor. He sees a mark there, someone with a lot of money and a lonely heart. The con man tips the dancers $5 and $10 so that they're all very nice to him. Then he goes over and sits with the mark and starts making friends. He buys the mark a drink. Then he says, I'm friends with all these girls here, and if you'd like to be intimate with any of them, you just tell me, and for $50, they will meet you at a hotel down the street, and they'll stay with you. But it has to be very discreet because this is highly illegal. And the mark may or may not take the hook at that point. But what will happen is the con man goes to one of the dancers that the mark seems interested in, gives her $10 and says, this is from that fellow over there. Could you just turn and wave? And she does, and then she comes over and she's real sweet to him, and that's when the hook is really set. The con man tells the mark that she has approached the con man and wants to be intimate with him for, a mere $50. Later he says, look, let's get the envelope for the money out. He says, you can't trust these girls, though. They're nice, but you can't trust them. So what you want to do is you want to put all your money in this envelope right here. Take out a few dollars for the room. Now, you can pay her afterwards, all right? And give this envelope to the guy at the front desk so that she can't rip you off, because she will. Now here, what you need to do, of course, you have a pen. You get a pen here, and all your money's inside here. You write your name out there on the outside so that they know it's yours. Give this to the guy at the front desk, and he'll take care of you. Now, the mark goes in with his envelope full of tissue paper, and he goes to the front desk, and he says, I'm looking for Ginger, and would you please hold on to my money? And the guy at the front desk has no idea what he's talking about, and of course the hotel is in a seedy side of town, and the con man is long gone with the money. So that's the real con that this is written around, and that's the gypsy switch. You might, I don't know, you might want to write some patter around that. I hope you enjoy those effects, and I do want to stress again that the main idea in a con man act is not the tricks you do, but the way that you do them. Have a lot of fun, and keep it clean. Thanks.